Hey everyone, this is Adam, and today I'm going to be showing you how to sync placeholder tags in your Figma text layer content with data from any spreadsheet using the CopyDoc plugin. So to get started, all we need to do is go to our Figma file, click on the little actions icon at the bottom here, and then you just want to search for CopyDoc. So that's CopyDoc. And under the plugins tab, if you click on the CopyDoc item, you can run the plugin by either clicking on this run button down here, or I'd recommend clicking on the save button next to that, which is going to save it to your plugins list for easy access later. So I've already clicked on the save button. So I'm just going to go to my Figma canvas, just going to right click anywhere. I'm going to go down to plugins and then go down to saved plugins and click on the CopyDoc item. And that's just going to run the plugin that we saved a second ago. So you'll notice in our designs, we've basically got these different text layers with these placeholder tags. So you can see we've got placeholders for name, minutes, username, country, and we've also got an Excel file over here which has those same names as the column headings for all of these rows. So basically, as you can see here, we're naming these headings in the spreadsheet to match up with these placeholder tags in our Figma text layers, and then we're going to automatically sync each of these rows with each of these layers here using the plugin sync feature. So I'll show you how to do that now. We basically just have to go to the plugin and click on the sync content button. And then what you want to do is choose where you want to sync the content from. So you can do it from a CSV or Excel file, a Google Sheets URL, or an Airtable URL. Today I'm just going to keep it really simple and use an Excel spreadsheet file, which is an XLXS file. And basically I'm just going to take this spreadsheet that I've created here, and I'm going to drag and drop that into the plugin. So I'm just going to grab that from my desktop, drag and drop that into this little drop zone here. And you can see we get a little bit of a preview of what the spreadsheet content is. So you can see it's matching up exactly with the spreadsheet here. And you'll notice I've also added an extra column called artwork. And I've named each of these Figma layers with an image fill to match up with that. So that's basically hash artwork. And you can see that's matching up with this, and it's just containing some links to some image URLs, and those are going to get synced up as well. So now that we've got all of our layers selected, all you need to do is highlight all of the frames that you want to sync up. So in this case, I want to sync up each of these design frames, which contains my text layers. And we're going to click on the sync rows with layers button up the top here. So I'm just going to click on that now. And you'll notice it's just gone through and updated all those layers. So it's quite quick. It's just gone through, and you can see it's swapped out those placeholder tags that we had in our designs, and it's updated that with the content from our spreadsheet here. So you can see, for example, it's swapped out the username, it's swapped out the country, it's swapped out the name, and then it's swapped out the minutes formatted as well. And then also, as we just had a look at, it's also swapped out the artwork, and it's added each of those images as the image fills for those layers. So just to go through what that just did, I'm just going to undo those updates. So I'm just going to do a Command Z and update each of these updates. And basically you can see here, before it updated, the format that we're using is the hash symbol, then open curly bracket, and then the name of your column. So in this case, we used the name, and then close curly bracket. So you can basically use this format for any values that you want to sync up from a spreadsheet. You just put those into your spreadsheet content. And for example, we could basically add this multiple times. So if we wanted to add, name twice for some reason, we could do that. And then if we synced that up just with this one layer this time, you'll see that it basically swaps out that variable twice. So anywhere where you put that variable, it's going to swap out those little tags with the content from your spreadsheet here. And you can also do this by automatically repeating layers. So let's say we've got this design over here, and we don't actually want to sync up all 6 of these. We just want to take this one over here and automatically repeat that the number of times that we've got rows in our spreadsheet. You can basically just click on the frame, make sure you've got this auto repeat toggle turned on. And then once you've got that single Figma layer selected with the auto repeat toggle enabled, you can just go ahead and click on the sync and repeat selected layer button here. And that's going to go through and automatically take that layer and sync it with all of your rows from the spreadsheet. So you can see here, it's taken our original layer, which we've still got here, it's copied all of those into this new frame over here called copy.rows sync. And inside that, you can see it's basically updated all of those rows with the contents from our design here. So it's taken all that same content, automatically repeated it in each of these copies of that frame. And now you've got a completely automated content workflow for these placeholder tags here. So those are basically the main two options that you can use. And finally, I just wanted to quickly touch on the fact that the regular functionality also still applies. So if you've used the plugin before, you'll know that you can typically just use the naming conventions to swap out entire text layers. So for example, I could basically just put in, placeholder content here. And then if I basically rename the layer itself, so in this case, I might want to use the username. So I'm just going to use that name here. I'm going to copy that into my Figma text layer name. So that's the actual layer name rather than the content. And then what I can do now is essentially click on that layer, and I'm going to turn the auto repeat off for now. I'm just going to sync up this one selected layer. So you'll notice here, I've got my username, and then this is going to get swapped out with the username here. So I'll show you what that looks like. So if I click on that layer, click on the sync rows with layers button, you can see here, it's basically gone in, it's found that matching layer name. So it's matching up the layer name itself with the username heading, and it's swapped out all of that content with this username here. But then it's also found the other layer here, which isn't named, and it's just looking for those variables that we had set up a moment ago, and it's swapping those out. So yeah, that's basically the alternate way you can update layers. But in this particular tutorial, I'm just assuming you're already familiar with the layer name version, and this is just showing you how to update content inside of a text layer if you need to have multiple bits of dynamic content that need to get swapped out, but you've got other text that can be left alone. So that's a really good option if you need to do that kind of workflow. Otherwise, if you know you're just going to update the entire text layer content, please feel free to just use the naming version where you just name the Figma layer name to match up with your headings in the spreadsheet, and that's going to automatically update that content for you as well. So yeah, that's basically it for today. I just wanted to run through that new feature in the plugin, which now allows you to update inline placeholder text tags. And that's going to be really helpful if you've got these types of workflows where you need to update content in multiple places in the same text layer in multiple elements for your frames that you can now sync from the spreadsheet rows just like this. So yeah, I'll leave it there for today. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll be back soon with more Figma tutorials like this one in the near future.